Welcome everyone to my channel. I'm Leanne and this is spoiler review for Blood Dreams by Kay Hooper of the Bishop Special Crimes Unit. Yes. This is the beginning of another part, but all of these are underneath like the Evil trilogy. So yes, it's like a lot. There's a lot of them here. There's like 30 or something I think of that, but I've only got 3. This is one of 3. I've already read the other one for you. So in this, we're actually hanging out with Danny Justice and her sister Paris. I didn't write down anything about the characters. I'm just going to talk about it in the way I want to. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so Danny Justice knows all about monsters. They haunt her dreams and her life. But she never expected to find herself on the trail of a real flesh and blood predator so cunning he's eluded the best law enforcement could send against him. So Dilly, he doesn't hesitate to kill even a senator's daughter or a cop. Danny doesn't want to hunt this killer, but she doesn't have a choice. She alone commands a weapon powerful enough to stop him, and she knows something even Bishop of the FBI Special Crimes Unit doesn't know. Danny knows how the hunt ends. It ends in fire, and blood, and death. What she doesn't know is who will survive. So, Danny Justice has dreams. Premonitional dreams of something that's going to happen in the future, and even though she doesn't remember a lot of the details, the dreams never change, except this one does. Every time she does something, things change. Miranda Bishop is in the dream and she's been captured and they have to go rescue Miranda. But when they warn Miranda off from it, Miranda disappears and it becomes Paris that they have to go rescue. And then it disappears from Paris to another person. And this other person is Hollis. And Hollis is part of the FBI. She's actually somebody who can see spirits and talk to them, commune with them. And she actually communes with a few of the victims of this serial killer to figure out more pieces of the puzzle. And it's gruesome. This guy literally sits there, kidnaps them, turns them into a woman that he is attached to. It's a little gross in the fact that it's his mother. And then he proceeds to call them by his mother's name with Audrey, and does a lot of essaying of them. And then once he gets tired of doing that, he cuts them open and removes parts of them and then cuts them apart, and then he moves on to the next one. And he changed his MO from just grabbing them off the street and then leaving them wherever. And the reason why he changed his MO is because Bishop in the crimes unit was hunting them down and caught up to him, well, almost caught up to him, because he killed the senator's daughter and a lot of heat was poured on it. So he disappeared from the Boston area, moved to this small little town, and just started away again. And what he did is he stalked his prey, took pictures of them, and I don't know, just a lot of weird, creepy things before he kidnapped him, and then he did all that stuff, and then he took pictures of them while he was doing it. It's just, really terrible. And it was his mother, Audrey, who kept him on a leash. When she died, he was literally released and able to do whatever he wanted. And at the end of the book, he actually sits there and says that, he promised me power, he promised me this, he promised me that. So somebody else is pulling the strings on this guy. I think we get his name at the very end. Carl Brewster. That's his name. And something about a prophecy that deals with Danny in some way, shape, or form. Because Danny's sister is able to, I don't remember her first power, but her secondary was to affect electronic things, like kill the battery in her alarm clock while she's sleeping and mess with electrical features. And Carl wants it, right? He wants this power. He wants it so bad that he attacks both twin sisters, because that's what they are. Danny and Paris are twin sisters. He attacks them at both time at the height of a storm, because that's how much good power there is, to try to steal Paris' second ability. But it doesn't work. Paris goes into a coma. Danny almost goes into a coma. She's out for a couple of hours or days. And then when she wakes up, her sister's still in the coma, but her sister said, "You gotta come to me, I got something for you." And Paris transfers that electrical power to her sister which is more. It is like a huge ability. Most times, these psychics have one major ability that they control, and the secondary that's like itty bitty. For Paris, electrical was itty bitty, and Danny is like massive. And storms give it more power. You also meet the guy she's in love with, which is not that person. Hold on, I forgot his name. I think his name is Mark. Marcus Purcell, who she left because she thought that, being with somebody that with her powers that they wouldn't accept all of her. But he's like, you never discussed me. You never pushed me off. I wanted to be part of your life. I wanted to be part of these visions. I wanted to know more. But you were afraid to let me in, so you left me. And that's the gist of it. She did leave him because of that. But they end up together in the end of this book, which is really good. And I think the next one, Blood Sins, continues with Danny. Because Danny is part of what's called Haven, which is the non-governmental special crimes unit. Because some people aren't meant to be on the legal side, but they help with investigations and stuff when they're called in. And Bishop calls people in for a lot of stuff. Like, they meet one person who's a guardian, and her whole thing is to shield. And all she does is sit there and shields the person. She don't do nothing else. She just shields to protect whoever she's trying to protect from other psychic attacks. And it's a little better expanding on the world. I like the fact that he expanded more on it. And like, Mark was all for it. And then Deputy Jordan Swain was like, okay, I didn't know psychics existed, but I can accept it. A lot of strange things were going on. And he's like, my great grandmother was able to do something, but I don't know what it was, and we don't have no power in it. And Mark, who is not a psychic, who can tell what a psychic is by touching them. He knows if they're a psychic. He knows what their powers are by touching them. That's pretty cool. My favorite character was Marcus Purcell. He accepted Danny as she was because he loved all of her, not just parts of her. My most disliked character was Carl Brewster, the serial murderer of the store, because he literally took a person, dismembered 2 people, and spread them out all over a abandoned house with a pool. Yeah, that's just to make a symbol out of blood for some reason. Calling card, if you will. It was disgusting. What stood out as memorable? How everything Danny did affected her dreams. She said something. She did something. She went home. It involved Paris. They knew deep down that Paris was going to die, and that's why Danny returned. But like, every time she mentioned something would change fundamentally of who was there. Like, in the beginning, it was just Hollis, Bishop, and Danny. And then it was Bishop, Hollis, Danny, and Mark, all looking for somebody. And each time it changed. It went from, like I said, Miranda to Paris to Hollis. So every time she did something to be reactive, it changed how things happened. And I think it was because the evil that was directing Carl could somehow tap into what she was seeing and knew. So planned around it. I don't know. My favorite passage from the story is Danny didn't know who moved first and didn't really care. All she knew was that the instant his arms closed around her and his mouth covered hers was the first time she truly felt like she had come home. This is what Danny says when Mark and her go back to his place, because he's got to protect her. Double-cutted, he wants to protect her, but he also wants her in his life. And they get it on. My favorite quote: that some things have to happen just the way they happen. There's no changing some things. She saw a fire building collapsing on them, a long corridor, a scream, but none of that actually happened in the end. What it was that they went down this long corridor, yes, but there was no burning building, there was no fire, there was a storm, though. It was just a metaphor for things that were going to happen, but things were always going to stay the same, regardless of what she did. What I thought about the end of the book: it was a sweet cliffhanger. I want to read the next one in the series. And what I mean by sweet cliffhanger, I mean like it was like a trained monster, or maybe just a tool, a puppet, but not a puppet master. So they know there's somebody out there. They just know. And then it's like a cliffhanger if I've ever read one. What book did it remind me of? Chill Pharaoh by Kay Hopper, because that's about the only one that really does psychic very well. I mean, I could say Scent of Roses by Kat Martin, but I didn't really like that one and the way the psychic was done. It was more like a girl reaching out to non-psychic for help. This book, as you know, is part of a series, Bishop Special Crimes Unit. This one is actually the Blood series. I think they call it the I don't know. I don't actually have a name, but it's the Evil Trilogies, and it's like the Blood series, because Blood Dreams, Blood Sins, and then it's a Blood Another. So yeah, there are 20 of them all together, so I can't wait to get my hands on the next one, which will be, I'll be reading Deadly Web, and then from there I will get one book from the Chill of Fear series and all that stuff. And I might try to get actually the beginning of it, which is Stealing Shadows, and then, you know, like Touching Evil. I rate this at 3.75. The reason being, in that this here was not as good as Chill of Fear, but it was still really deeply integrated into the storyline, and it had new characters that were in it. Like, you had two twins. They're most likely fraternal, because one was male and one was female. And while they slept, they could speak to their twin and break locks and control things through the other twin, through their twin. It really weird. And they shared that psychic ability. But during the day, they're just normal people with no psychic abilities at all. So I like the introductions of new people, and I like the way they did the world. But wait, they could have been with a different kind of hook at the end, because obviously Dani's story isn't done. She's just starting out, and she's just learning how to control her abilities, because she's never really explored them past a certain point, especially like dream walking, pulling people into her dreams. She's never really explored that option besides with her twin sister Paris. She's never done it with anybody else except for Mark once, and then with Hollis and Harris at the same time. And it's just, she needs to expand on it, train it up, get better at it. And that could have been the hook for it, instead of, oh, there's another evil out there that we didn't get, that we have to go after them. Anyways, if you think it deserves a like, comment, or even a lovely subscription, drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.